Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Xanton, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Today, what are we going to be doing? We got some more card spoilers to talk about, more reveals for the upcoming Legends of Runeterra set, Awakening, new champion, and a new mechanic, new vocabulary, not technically a keyword. So that's pretty cool. Kind of hints at Ornn a bit too. So we're probably going to get Ornn too. I believe it is called Forge. So that probably means the forging champion is Ornn, and we still have one more champion to go. So sadly, anyone who's like hoping for like Seraphim or Aatrox, you're probably gonna have to wait another set at least. Uh as for Jax, gonna be honest with you, he's kind of boring. Kind of plain and bland. I don't think he's a bad card, I just kind of think he's a little bland. So let's actually go and talk about the cards though. The cards besides Jax, around Jax, though, I think are pretty interesting. Jax himself, kind of bland. Before we actually talk about these cards, though, it won't take too long because we only have, not that many cards here, like Jax, his champ spell, and a spell. Let's talk about Forge. So, not a big fan of Forge. Improvise was cool. I liked Improvise. Forge is a little, it's numbers, it's stats. I don't care. Like, it's cool it works on equipment, that's cool, but whatever, it's just more stats. Like, so Forge, grant an ally +1/+1. Okay, it's just a permanent +1/+1 buff. Whatever. Like, it's nice. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying it's kind of boring though. Now if the ally is equipped, grant it to their item instead. So if they're equipped with something. I don't exactly know, but I've heard some people theorizing this might work on what's it called, attach. So yeah, like a papercraft dragon, because it doesn't say like granted to their equipment, it says granted to their item. So does that include attach things? Like if there's like a rainbow fish on it or a papercraft dragon on it, is the papercraft dragon now a 3/3? I don't know. But I think I've been hearing people saying it, and I feel like there's probably a Riot employee answer out there about attach and how it works with this stuff, but I'm not sure. Another quick question is like from yesterday, catch. Can you use catch on something on an attached unit? And before you say what attached unit, Quick Quill. Quick Quill is 2 mana, and you could definitely just discount some of the attachment or the attached units because they're Fey with a Gleaming Lantern. So that's actually, if like, I didn't even think about that, but if you can use catch or something to basically burst speed attach an attach unit, that's kind of cute. Equipped it with an equipment in hand though, so I don't know. It's like attach units aren't equipment, but I could actually see it working that way. Anyway, Jax himself though, not much to talk about with him really. 2 mana, 3/2. Origin, Grand Master at Arms, auto-equip the Light of Acacia. Level up, equipped allies have struck for 15 plus damage. He's also a Weapon Master if there is actually Weapon Master synergy. We don't really have Weapon Master synergy. We have the Origin. This is actually called, I've seen a lot of people hating on this. The Origin is literally just put Weapon Master cards in your deck. So basically, what a lot of people were expecting, which was just put my followers in your deck, which is, I do agree, it's kind of a bland Origin. Granted, like, Jhin was pretty unique. I don't even want to say unique, but I feel like Jhin kind of just gave us a lot of hype, and it seems like pretty much all the other Runeterran champions have just been like, hey, my Origin is just put in the followers, my followers. So, you know, like Evelyn's like the Husk stuff, Bard's the Chime creators, Kane's cultists, Jax is the Weapon Masters. For me personally, what's disappointing is it's another Evelyn in terms of Origin. It just does nothing. Now, you might say like, well, what do you want? I don't know. I'm not a developer, I'm not a game designer, I don't know what I want. I'm just saying, like, it feels kind of boring and bland that it just does nothing. Maybe it had something in development that they just couldn't figure a way to balance it. So I feel like that is, but I don't know. Even it could honestly just say like, you may put any weapon master cards into your deck during deck building, and then like, I don't know, by like at the start of turn 4, summon a weapon, a Nicathian Mirage. Even something simple like that would be pretty cool. But yeah, like it doesn't have to be anything complex. Like I'm not talking it needs to be something on the level of Bard. It just something nice. But yeah, like I've seen a lot of people are just disappointed that his origin doesn't really do anything. Jax himself is kind of bland. Like 2 mana 3/2 is a nice stat line. Auto equips the Light of Acathia. Light of Acathia is what? A 1 mana 0/0 equipment. Gives quick attack though. And if Jax is leveled, it now gives overwhelm as well. Kind of a scary equipment in all honesty, if you ask me. Like giving stuff quick attack is pretty good, and then giving stuff quick attack on top of overwhelm is even better. Basically turning things into not really ruin runners because no spell shield, but quick attack overwhelm really starts to beat things down quickly. My biggest problem with Jax so far though is he's just a stat stick. Like that's it. Like I don't know. I guess the nice thing about level 1 Jax is he doesn't have to see the damage being done, so he could theoretically level in the deck, but you're gonna keep Jax in your opening hand. He's a 2 mana 3/2 with quick attack. He is at his base, he is Draven for 1 less mana without the spinning axes. And the first Jax that dies gives you Light of Acathia. Now, I have no idea if it'll work, but what if you play Jax, first Jax dies, Light of Acathia goes to your hand, because that's how equipment works. And then you play a second Jax. It says auto-equip the Light of Acathia. Does that mean it gives you another Light of Acathia? Or does it auto-equip the Light of Acathia that's in your hand? I feel like when you play a second Jax, the second Jax will check if you have Light of Acathia in your hand and auto-equip it if it is in your hand, and if it's not in your hand, it'll equip another. So maybe that means if the Light of Acathia is on another unit that's already on the field and you play a second Jax, you get 2 Light of Acathias? I don't know, it seems kind of weird. Now what does Jax do when he levels up? Because his level up's not difficult to do. It's because it's a kind of, level up in deck kind of champion. First off, he gets +1/+1 like most champions. 2 mana 4/3 now. Auto-equip Light of Acathia. Okay, that's still pretty much the same thing from before. Only new thing is, when he attacks, he gets +1/+1 for each equipped ally this round. So at the minimum, he gets +1/+1 because he's going to be equipped with the Light of Acathia. So when he levels up, he's at least a 5/4 quick attack overwhelm. Like, that's a pretty solid card, but it's just not really... I guess he's a win con if he snowballs and just gets out of control, but you can say that about a lot of things. Even Elise is a win con if she just snowballs, right? So, I don't know. I will say this, though. The Jax artwork from both level 1 and level 2 is beautiful. Just look at this artwork. And this one's great, too. Like, I don't know. It's really nice. But yeah, like, so how do you build Jax? Do we just wait for Ornn? I feel like that's what we're going to do, is wait for Ornn. At the moment, if Jax was in the game today, just came out with the game, had an update, Jax and all the, Weapon Master stuff came out and was put into the game as it is now. How do you build Jax? And how do you build Jax in a way that's just not a worse version of a deck that's already out there? Because I know some people will be like, oh, Pantheon Jax. Yeah, I know. The equipment, it does activate Fated and stuff. That's cool, but I feel like giving up Demacia for Jax and some equipment is so much worse than, having things like Golden Aegis, Cataclysm, Sharp Sides, Concerted Strides, etc., etc. You can argue, well, now you can get Overwhelm again, permanent Overwhelm, because Zenith Blade doesn't do it anymore. You can do it with Light of Acathia, or maybe Fish-a-Whack. That's a card, yep. So I don't know. Maybe action. The problem with Jack's action is how do you actually win the game? Like, what's your win con? And I feel like Jack's action would be just worse severe action, which is kind of just at the moment arguably worse Kaisa action. Really, I feel like we're starting to see, not starting to see, we know this is a problem, but trying to build Jax now with what we have in the game now is showing one of the weaknesses of Runeterra and champions, and giving up a secondary region is a big cost for Runeterra and champions. Sure, most of them see play somehow, like Anti-Jin, what else? Bard, obviously, has seen a bunch of play. Our only other Runeterran champion in the game now is Evelyn, and honestly, she's been seeing a little bit of play too with Viego. Granted, I feel like that's more because of the hate spike buff recently, but even she's seeing some play now. But yeah, like even with the Viego Evelyn deck, it's like a lot of the time, if I were to play Viego Evelyn, I'm like, I'd rather cut Evelyn for either just Shurima or Ionia stuff. And I've been doing that. I've been playing Thresh Viego with Ionia Shadow Isles. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how you would build Jax. I really feel like we're gonna just have to wait till Ornn, Freljord, Jax, you know, 3 Freljords, 3 Jaxes, bunch of Weapon Masters, 3 Sisters, Troll Chant. There you go. I built you your Ornn Jax deck. Congratulations. Is it strong enough? Only time will tell, basically, on Ornn and how good all these equipments are. And if we get a miniature balance patch when the cards come out. They occasionally do that. Anyway, last couple of cards here. Jax's Champ Spell. I kind of like it. Give Jax Barrier this round and forge him. So, it's a prismatic barrier, but it can only hit Jax. That kind of sucks. Like, it kind of really sucks that can only hit Jax. I guess theoretically, it could be a wording mistake on Riot. They have done that before, but there's no doubt with the way it's worded, this can only give Jax Barrier. And then you forge him. And if you already forgot what forge is, you know, give the unit +1/+1, grant it +1/+1. If it's equipped, give the equipment, the attachment, whatever, +1/+1 as well. So for Jax, you know, it will usually forge Light of Acacia. I guess you could argue, well, you might not have Light of Acacia attached to him because you might have attached something else. Maybe your opponent played Silence and Suppress. I believe that's the new card. That's not even in the game yet. The Demacia 1-mana card. I believe it's like, I don't even know what it does. I think it obliterates equipment. Destroy a unit's equipment, and if it's a follower, silence it. Okay, I thought it would have obliterated, but whatever. So yeah, I guess they could play Silence and Suppress to remove equipment. So, but yeah, like most of the time, this is just going to give Light of Acacia +1/+1, which honestly, that's pretty nice. Like 1 mana +1/+1 with, and grants quick attack. And then of course, if you leveled up Jax, it gives Overwhelm. Again, I'm not saying these are weak cards. Like this is pretty strong. Like all of these Jax cards from, you know, the past couple of days and today seem pretty solid and pretty strong. I'm just not excited by them because it's just like, oh boy, it's stacking stat stuff. We've kind of seen this a lot, you know, in the form of just stacking stats with Faded or whatever. I don't know. Kind of want to control stuff, please, Rito. And our last couple of cards for today, Sharesies. 2 mana burst speed spell. Give an equipped ally the stats and keywords of its attachment this round, and equip the attachment to another ally. It doesn't say, it says attachment. It doesn't say equipment. I feel like I recall seeing a Riot employee say Sharesies does work on attached units. Not gonna lie, that's a little scary if it does. Here's the thing. It's a Bandle City Targon spell too. You know what plays attached units that's in Bandle City? Riven, Fizz. Papercraft Dragon with this is terrifying. Yes, Papercraft Dragon is nerfed in 6 mana. I remember Okay, I remember a lot of stuff when that card was really meta and just losing at full health to a Fizz because, you know, I couldn't kill a Fizz. So, I don't know. This thing's a pretty scary card. I do, like, this is a huge buff to Riven Fizz decks. Maybe Papercraft decks in general, too. Especially if they nerf Kaisa. Like, if they nerf Kaisa, I feel like the Kaisa players will just go back to Papercraft anyway. So yeah, like this card is actually pretty good. Like it's like a weird, it's in that vein of like 2-mana protection, 2-mana combat tricks, but it's kind of unique. Like this is cool design. Like I like this card in terms of design. Like it's really cool. I'm really scared of it still because Papercraft. Even other things like Rainbow Fish is terrifying, and it's burst speed too. So I don't know. We've seen what happens with burst speed keyword sharing in the form of second skin with Kaisa, so I don't know. It's a little scary of a card. As for like Targon decks, I don't know. What are you going to use with Targon? Targon Papercraft's not really a thing. I guess technically Fae, like a Phalios. You can share these Rainbow Fishes and Papercraft, but Fae's not really been a thing. Like, I know there's a couple people who still play it on ladder and do really well with it in Masters, in fact. And our last card for the day, too. Entrancing Lure. 2 mana, give an ally challenger this round. That by itself is already okay. Like, I would choose Entrancing Lure from Conchal just if that was all it was. But it's got an extra line of text. If it's equipped, draw 1. They keep saying this like if it's equipped. I assume it doesn't mean just equipment. I keep assuming it means attach units too. Like I just feel like attach units have to be in that, and it's got like a yellow highlight on it too. So when it is in the game, we'll be able to, you know, highlight over the card and see exactly how they word it. Or we can wait and see if a Riot employee actually confirms or denies this, because I feel like they probably have by the time this video comes out. As for this card itself, also an Ionia Noxus deck. Ionia will play, Sonic Wave? Like, Sonic Wave is a fairly good playable card. Master Yi with this card, like, if you do play equipment in Master Yi decks, you know, it helps cycle. So basically, like, I'm comparing this to Sonic Wave because it's a very close comparison. I will say this, Sonic Wave does give you the second spell, the +2/+0 spell for 1 mana at burst speed. That is nice for activating Eye of the Dragon and Flow, I guess, in the future, but drawing a card, cycling's pretty good. I mean, you guys have seen Pale Cascade, Guiding Touch, etc., etc. So, I don't know. I think Ionia decks that want this effect will mostly just play Eye of the Dragon because, you know, multiple spells, unless they have a certain amount of equipment. How much equipment is that? I don't really know how much equipment it would have to be. I guess you could also argue, well, it can also cycle. At, like, worst case scenario, you can play it on defense to try to cycle through your deck. Yeah, but it kind of sucks. Also can be used in Noxus, so maybe some, like, Riven deck. I don't know, because, like, Riven's Fragments and her sword aren't technically equipment, so I don't know. Maybe they'll give some Riven support in the future. I could actually see that. But yeah, I like this card. It seems like a pretty solid, powerful card. Drawing cards is always a powerful effect. Cycling cards, whatever you want to call it. Cards that replace themselves are usually, at the very least, decent. Especially 2 mana draw a card plus good effect is usually decent. The only problem I'm seeing here is calculating how much equipment and figuring out the curve and how often you're going to get the card draw from this. Because if you're not getting the card draw from this, I'd much rather play Sonic Wave. I mean, it is a Weapon Master card too, so you can put in your Jax deck, so that's nice. If your other region, but your Jax plus your other region is not really a good removal region, you can play this. So yeah, I like it. It's a solid card. Jax seems like he's getting pushed a little bit. Like, Improvise seems solid and strong. Champ Spell seems pretty good. I don't know. 2 health is a little weak, though, in a world of avalanches, blighted ravines, mystic shots, etc., etc. But, you know, with the Light of Acacia, if you buff it with Counter Strike, he does get out of the 1 health range. If you're really that worried about it, you can also play things like Catch. Improvise can give you a pot of pain to give him a little extra health. So I think Jax is pretty solid. As it stands now, if he were to be released in the game, I don't think he would be good or even playable. And I think we just need to wait for Ornn, see what Ornn does, see if there's more Forge cards and what they do, and go from there. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. I'd love to hear what you guys think about Jax. My thoughts on Jax are mostly that he seems like a fine card in terms of power level. In terms of design, kind of boring, but you know, a lot of good cards are kind of boring to me, at least. Maybe you find him really exciting. That's cool. But I'd love to hear what you got, how you guys would build Jax today, and what you guys just think about these cards and the new mechanic Forge and all these kind of cards and stuff. And if you guys just enjoyed the video in general, I'd love it if you could leave a like or a comment down below. It always helps me and the channel out. And if you guys want to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. Also, if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zeneton, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all again once more for watching this video. And until I see you guys in the next one, bye.